Hey guys, welcome back to another Monster video. So in today's video, I don't have any good news for you guys because there's an update that Monster Legends will happen to do very soon, and it's not going to be good. And I know recently we had Rank of Survival Dungeon update that nobody really liked, and then the Walking Dead event nobody really liked, and then there's something else coming out that nobody's gonna like. Oh my gosh, we got lots of things to talk about, so make sure to grab a popcorn or grab a drink or whatever so you can go ahead and watch this video and listen to me talk about this, because I have some things I'll talk about related to this, and also I'd also point out some things that can maybe help with this issue if anybody from Social Point is watching this. So if you guys are excited for today's video, if you are, make sure to drop a like, subscribe. Anyways, let's go and get started. So ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, where do we start? So today, this morning, Monster Legends or Social Point, one of the two, I guess, because this also actually connects with all their other social games. So Dragon City, for example, I'm not sure about the other ones. I personally don't play them, so I'm not going to cover them. But basically, it should actually apply to all of their other social games as well. So basically, what's happening is that let me actually just go ahead and show you guys, because this will just make it easier. So this is what they tweeted, and obviously they posted this on their Facebook, Instagram, I believe as well. I'm not sure about Instagram actually, but I'm sure they posted on their Discord, yeah, for sure, and many other socials. But look at this. Hello, Monster Masters. Apple has announced changes in the prices of apps and in-app purchases starting October 5th, 2022. This will be reflected in an increase of prices and in-game offers. So October 5th. Right now it's October 3rd, so 2 days left. 2 days left. If you want to buy anything right now, buy the Legends Pass. Even though it's like 30 bucks off discount, purchase it, because the prices will increase. Alright, now that is just Legend. Of course, it actually applies to everything. Legends Pass, jump packs, if you're purchasing any of their chests, if you're purchasing bounty hunt monsters, if you're purchasing literally anything in the game, the prices from here, it might go up to here basically. All right, so yeah, it increases of prices, right? It's gonna go up. Now go ahead and read this. All right, I'm gonna read it for you guys. Okay, so look, these changes in prices will reflect all European territories that use the euro currency, and other countries outside the euro may also notice an increase of price. So it's not just people in Europe, you know, everybody else. Well, most likely, because it says other countries as well. They might also see a, you know, increase in price. To maintain a parity of price, these price changes will be applied to all platforms. Now, this doesn't help at all. So they're saying like, okay, let's just say, for example, we take a candy from one kid. Instead of just taking from one, we're gonna take it from everybody. So it's fair. Not really fair. I mean, well, I see what they're trying to say and do, but it doesn't help nobody basically, because now we're gonna be forced to spend more in the game. Now personally, me, recently I've just been trying to cut as much as possible in spending this game, especially like after the Walking Dead offers, the Rank of Survival Dungeon. I've just been basically limiting my purchases in this game. Like I used to purchase the bounty hunt monsters, like the exclusive ones and stuff like that. Used to spend you know, money in purchasing gems for tails, for team races. Recently it's just been the Legends passes, but what I'm thinking about doing is either cutting that and start doing free to play, if not maybe switching games, honestly, because that is what it has come down to. But look at this. We thank you for your understanding and apology for any inconvenience. Okay, whatever. But so that's basically everything that they said. All right, now obviously nobody really liked it. I went ahead and just tweeted this. I replied to it. I said, price is already high in the game. This is going to make up every player in the game basically in no time. Somebody said, what if it becomes lower? It is not going to lower it. It literally said, yeah, it literally says increase. So they're not going to lower it. They're actually going to increase it, as you guys can see. So the prices will go up. We don't know how much it's going to be. You guys know Apple likes to be a bit greedy. Social Point, we can connect the dots, right? But anyway, so that nobody is really yeah, look at this, like the prices aren't already way too high. Fix the Rank of Survival Dungeon one. We're gonna talk about that as well throughout this video, but yeah, people are talking about Rank of Survival Dungeon the most, but I'm assuming like most of these people that are talking about it in their comments, they're mainly free-to-play players, so they don't really spend much, so it doesn't really affect them much, you know what I mean? It just mainly affects players that spend money in the game. Now here's the thing, I'm sure you guys saw this before, right? The Epic versus Apple, so Epic Games versus Apple, right? How they didn't like each other, like the way they were doing things, and so when Fortnite went ahead and changed their way, and then Apple didn't really like it, so they just removed it from the App Store. I'm sure you guys know this is old news, but I just wanted to connect this because it actually connects in a way. So Social Point, I'm sure they're aware of this. They knew this already happened, so they're trying to avoid it. So instead of fighting against Apple, they want to just go along with it, you know what I mean? Something maybe Epic should have done if they wanted to keep, you know, Fortnite in the App Store for the Apple users. So that's what they're trying to do. Now, if Social Point actually ended up fighting against Apple, that would actually hurt their company even more, because there's such a, I would say, small game, right? Monster Jam is small, isn't it? You guys can tell me in the comments, but they're not as big as Fortnite, basically, right? We can all agree on that. They're not as big as Fortnite, so they don't have that many players, and they're not on multiple platforms. They're only on Android and Apple, and those are the only things, right? If they get cut from Apple, that's 50% already. I'm not sure about Android. If they get cut from that, it's 0. You can only maybe play through emulator. Not really, actually, because emulators are also Android, so they'll be cut from that too. So that's just the thing. Just saying, like, you guys remember this, right? Like how they fought against each other, and then I'm not sure who really won because I wasn't really following along, but you guys get the idea, right? What happened? They were fighting against each other, and it didn't really end well for Epic, I believe, or the other, both of them, I guess, but especially Epic. So that's why Social Point is trying to avoid. They're not trying to fight against, for example, what should I call it? They're not trying to fight against Apple because they're such a big company. They're bigger than Social Point for sure. So obviously they're gonna win the lawsuit even if they try. Now, this is just way too much. So in terms of increasing prices, let's just this is just a guess, okay? Now, if I had to guess, okay, so the giant chest of gems, normally it's $100 for 1,700 gems. The 1,700 gems is going to stay at 1,700 gems, by the way. It's not going to increase. Most likely it's going to stay at 1,700. If they do end up increasing it, they're probably just going to increase it up to like maybe 2,000 gems or something, but I doubt it. So that 99.99, that's most likely going to bump up to maybe $150 or $149.99. You know what I mean? So can you imagine spending another $50 extra just to get the same amount of gems? If not, maybe just a couple hundred more. Come on, nobody's gonna do that. And now, when it's off discount, $50, right? That's when most players really spend their, you know, money in buying gems. So $50, that would actually be increased up to maybe 60 or 70 even more. So you're gonna be spending 10, 20 bucks extra. Now that is just going to be permanent, right? It's gonna be permanent because Apple's not going to revert this update. They like to keep it this way. So I'm sure this will also affect Android players. I'm not sure. Actually, I didn't even think about that. What if it doesn't? Actually, it probably will. Social Point likes to do that. They might actually help them make more money, so they like that stuff, right? So I'm sure they'll also do it to Android players as well, which kind of sucks. But Apple users, 100% guaranteed. Now, I know you guys, some of you guys most likely actually know about this. There's a way to actually get discount, like, you know, in prices through the Amazon store or something like that. I haven't used it in a while, but through the Amazon store, basically, you can get stuff for cheap. So for example, the $100 bounty on Monster would be $80, so you save $20. But now, with this, you know, price being updated, it's gonna probably bring it down, but not too much. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how that's gonna play out, honestly. So this is going to really hurt their game for sure. And obviously, Social Point cannot really control this. They're going to go along with Apple. Obviously, they're not going to keep their prices the same because, you know, Apple's going to take a big cut. So I understand where Social Point is coming from, why they're trying to do this and go along with it. But it's really not fair for our players like us. So I feel like what they can actually do to help us out, everybody, I'm not, you know, mentioning like only pay-to-win players, but free-to-play players as well. What they can do to help players like us, everybody in the game, by the way, is to revert the Rank Group Survival Dungeon update. Now that would, I feel like, actually make it fair. They could increase the price, obviously, because they have to go along with what Apple is doing, right? They have to actually play along and increase their prices, but to keep their players still motivated to play the game every day, like how we are right now, even after 2 bad updates. One of them, you know, being the Rank of Survival Dungeon nerf. One of them was that. Another thing is obviously the Walking Dead collaboration being so just all over the place, basically, let's just say, right? Because I'm sure many players do not really like this Walking Dead event at all, unless, like, for example, you're related to Elon Musk or Bill Gates or something, you know what I mean, with like a bunch of money. But you guys get the point, right? So I feel like what Social Point could do actually is bring back the Rank of Survival Dungeon for everybody. I feel like that would actually make it fair. and players will be motivated to continue playing the game. That's just my opinion, but that's just something that they could do. I feel like that would actually continue it. But I would love to hear what you guys think, what they could do to actually keep players playing the game, because I'm sure many will actually quit after this update. I already saw like a message this morning right after that was posted. I literally saw a message from one of my teammates saying that they are basically going to quit after this change, that they cannot keep up because prices are going up already. It's gonna be like, basically, let's just say the Walking Dead monsters. First of all, that was a really bad thing that they did. The Walking Dead event, how all the monsters, instead of $100 how it is normally for rank 5, $100 rank 5, which I'm sure many think it's still a lot, but players would still be able to purchase it. You know what I mean? Not many, not everybody obviously, but a good amount. But with the prices being like 280 bucks for rank 5, yeah, our teammates don't really like that. And we're in the top team. We're literally #1 team. Now imagine the other team as well. You know what I mean? That's just #1 team. Now imagine all the other players as well. Socialban's just literally thinking that we're like basically fools at this point, right? Now obviously, again, they don't really have control over this Apple versus Social Point or all the other games. I'm sure they're also taking this effect, but just please bring back the Rank of Survival Dungeon. If you bring back the Rank of Survival Dungeon, I'm sure you'll get some players back and some players will stay, because that's something that they can use to rank up their monsters. I'm not sure why they even made these Walking Dead monsters so exclusive. Yeah, they're good, but they're not going to be good forever. Why would you even make them that exclusive? Like, you can't rank them up to the dungeons. Me personally, I could get Michonne right now, but why would I want to do that? Michonne at level 100 sucks. Seriously, what is she going to do at level 100? I'm a competitive player, I'm in the top team. What am I going to do with a level 100 Michonne? I'm never going to use it, right? And if I get it for collection purposes, it is going to be there in the Walking Dead book, but I'm not going to be able to get these other monsters because they're behind a paywall. And I like how they're basically releasing them in these breeding events with the chances of it being so rare that you're not going to be able to obtain, right? It's going to be what, 1%, not even, less than that. It's more rare than obtaining a vintage monster. Now, if you guys are not familiar with what vintage monsters are, oh, don't get me started, because I have a few. Look at this. Firelion, that's considered a vintage monster. Turtles. See, monsters like these, they're still obtainable, but the chances of you breeding them is just so little, and it's just so random. So that's basically all I wanted to cover, really. I feel like there's something that I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing something, but I think I covered most of, right? I think I covered most. Obviously, many players are not happy about this, so let me know in the comments below your thoughts. But all these offers you guys see here, what the heck is this? First of all, 599 gems for a Euryticus? This is such a joke. Has this always been like this? Come on, really, Social Mind? I never actually noticed that. That's so. This is just basically 600 gems. 589 is basically 600 gems, right? So 600 gems for a Breeding Joker monster that you cannot use in battle because you'll get destroyed. So the only thing it's really good for is the breeding, right? 599 gems. That's such a joke. Literally, Breeding Joker, it's literally just a joke. This is a joke offer. This being 600 gems basically, it'll bump up to maybe 700, 600 gems. No, technically 600 right now, so maybe 700 or more. So all these stuff that you see, they're gonna go up. I'm not sure about the gems. I feel like the gems might actually, but the money for sure. So these being $15 basically, probably gonna bump up to 20 bucks or more. This is such a joke. I really need to find a new game to play, honestly. I really can't keep up with this. But I was thinking about, I'm being serious about this. I'm actually thinking about if I can't really keep up in the top teams with, you know, because I'm not gonna spend, honestly, I'm really not gonna spend much in this game. So I might actually switch teams, like go with a team that's in top 100 or top 1000 or something, or maybe I could join a team like this one, for example. Do you see? So something like that. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below your thoughts. I'm not going to continue, you know, talking about this because my head already hurts, but let me know in the comments below what you guys think again. But yeah, share your thoughts because it's important. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.